Latinos of all backgrounds, do y'all not realize black people are not the only people in this country? You got your Chinese Americans, your Japanese Americans, your Korean Americans, your Indian Americans, your Muslim Americans, your white Americans, and your own people. So why in Davy Jones' locker are y'all so pressed and mad at us because we not out protesting? Folks, we did the most effective protesting last November, and the data proves it. We protested when it mattered the most. We were not out here with whole productions talking about some "we will vote for Donald Trump." Y'all was out here with that foolishness, knowing full well, that y'all had a few abuelas, a few tios, tias, mijo, and mijas in your house undocumented. But y'all got y'all behinds on stage talking about some "we will vote for Donald Trump." And you think we supposed to be out here protesting, picket fence in hand, clowning like some monkeys in a zoo? No, sirree bop. We did what we were supposed to do. And y'all put y'all's own community in the position that it's in now. And y'all need to live with it.
Right now, there's some Latinos that want to distance themselves from like the racist Latinos without acknowledging that racism exists in the Latino community. Because I remember growing up and being labeled a word because I had a black friend. Now, this is me growing up in South Central Los Angeles, being Mexican American, and other Latinos, Mexican Americans would call me a specific word because I had a black friend. And people were labeling me this word from elementary to middle school. Experiences like that are a reflection on how normalized anti-blackness can be in the Latino community and how it becomes so normalized during our development. Go ahead and let me know what you think.
I have normalized not even telling people that I'm Afro-Latina because there is so much colorism in the Latin community you wouldn't even understand. My mother is a full black Honduran woman. Her first language was Spanish. My grandmother is a full black Honduran woman from Trujillo, Honduras. But what I've learned is that no matter what you do, no matter what you say, how well you speak, what your accent is like, what you put on, how you dress, no matter how much gel you put in your hair to make that curl bounce, they will always see you as a blackie. They will always see you as a Negro. And that's why I don't even care about putting my country flags. Like, I'm Honduran and yes, my father is Jamaican. Like, sometimes I really just don't care about putting the flags in my bio anymore or telling people that I'm Afro-Latina. And I get why people do. They want to rep their country, right? And I understand that it's a premise of being accepted and included in the Latin community, but I don't want to be accepted by colorists. Like, I know it's not everybody, but it's a majority. I don't want to fight and bend backwards to be accepted by colorists. I just don't. And the funniest part to me, oh my gosh, I've lived in Spain for 6 weeks, right? So almost 2 months, which is enough time for me to tell you and hold your hand when I say this. European Spaniards do not care whether you're from Panama, Guatemala, Mexico, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic. They do not care where you are from. If you're not from Spain, if you're not from Europe, then you're just not on their hierarchy level. Spain has colonized so many countries around the world, and I will hold your hand again when I say this. They will always have the European superiority complex. Doesn't matter if you're white passing. They will always think they're better than you because they colonized your country. They think you're poor. And that same European superiority complex literally is the reason why we have colorism in the Latin communities. Whole time, they look down on you too. And that's what gets me so infuriated with the Latin community, because to some people in the Latin community, it doesn't matter how well you speak Spanish. It doesn't matter how many generations you go back in Hispanic Latin heritage. The darker you are, the more inferior you are to them. They just treat Afro-Latinos how Spaniards treat them, which is so funny to me.
Hispanics practice Jim Crow against Black Americans in Houston. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. At Houston Community College, right? The Chandler Caesar, he's a Hispanic man. He got together with the director of HR and the board of trustees, and they came up with this plan to get rid of black employees at high positions. They did anything from putting false complaints in their folders so they could get demoted or get fired. And then they replaced these black employees with Hispanics. Hispanics went up, the hiring for Hispanics went up 50%. These three individuals orchestrated the plan. And this is what they stated in their emails. Now, we Hispanics are going to receive preferential treatment. This plan was successful, targeting black top employees. Now they got a class action suit against Houston Community College for $100 million. They have to come up with some type of settlement by 2026. But yeah, let Houston tell it. They'll tell you like brown and black.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel once again. Thank you so much for always coming back and tuning in. So guys, for many years, Latinos and other minorities, they have been always siding on white people, and they're forgetting the black Americans. And black people, they want really vote for this America to be the way it is. The freedom that these other communities are really getting, it's because of the black Americans, it's because of the black people. But Latinos and other communities, they have lived for so many years really disrespecting the black American, seeing them as a race, call them a racist, call them so many names, and siding with the white people. But this one thing that these people always forget is that they cannot really force to be white. White people, they don't love any minority in America. The only community can really have a friendship with the other minorities like these Latinos, Hispanic, is the black people. But one thing is that now they are now coming out and realize that the black folks, they have been always right. And that's why wherever they just do the protest, wherever they just do anything, they want the help from the black community. So guys, I want you guys to just continue watching these clips whereby really Latinos, they are really coming out and saying why they have been always the racist to the black community, and why also the black community do not trust these minorities. So I want you guys to just watch these videos, and in the end, then I'll come back with more comment. I'm your host, Team Tasty Commenter, and kindly, if you haven't subscribed, remember to subscribe, like, and also comment. So let's dive into it.
You gonna cover, nigga? I'm fist, nigga. That
nigga right there. Yeah, you do, nigga. Stop paying. Yeah, you can that. That nigga right there.
Y'all can address that, then stop looking for black people to be out there for y'all. Y'all are not black. Latinos, specifically Mexicans, Cubans, y'all are not black. You don't have the right to say that word. You do not come from a lineage of bondage. You do not come from a place where you were sold. Okay, you are not black. No matter how much you try to be a thug, you are not black. No matter how many times you hang around black people, you are not black. And if you are not an African American, a descendant from slavery, that word should never come out of your mouth. This is why most black people are not out there, on top of them being tired because we said we told you so. This is one of the reasons why we don't feel aligned with y'all, because of things like this. And it's not just them, because they learned it from somewhere. And I don't want to hear the excuse is a product of their environment, because baby, I grew up around Latinos, okay? I grew up around them, and none of them would ever use the N-word in front of me. And yes, I grew up in Houston. So don't bring the Texas shit in there either, because that's BS. They would get checked. And I do mean by the chin. Until y'all can address that shit, don't say nothing to black people. Fix your house first before you go outside.
Saying squad, and I ain't gonna cap, Latinos' hatred towards black people sincerely needs to be studied. But one thing I'm getting so tired of is the amount of anti-blackness from Latinos. Do these people do realize that the civil rights movement is the reason them and other immigrant groups can even come over here, right? Yet the same people that made it where you can even live over here and be in this country, y'all got so much smoke and animosity towards. But them folks who tell y'all on a daily to go home and leave, y'all kiss them in the rear end 24/7. and they still give you they irritants. Yeah, they gonna make you think that they like you because you spewing out all this anti-black rhetoric, but at the end of the day, they don't want you. Like, it's tiring. And one thing I can't stand when y'all be in the comment sections talking about, or y'all make these posts on social media talking about, we may have our differences, but we can all agree there's one demographic that we don't like. The folks you're pandering to don't even like you. But y'all have this mentality, if we don't like the blacks, then them folks will like us. Dog, they're never gonna like us. I mean, they're never gonna like you. Blacks have done nothing but shopped at y'all businesses, made it where y'all can come over here, but y'all have this hatred towards us for absolutely no reason. That side with the same people who have oppressed y'all, took y'all land, took y'all resources, and tell y'all to go home on a daily.
There's a lot of rape.
People, after they done with the Latinos, you next. Huh? Next. We've been on the chopping block. Like, you can tell that we all been living in separate Americas. Separate Americas, because why does everybody keep saying black people, you next? They've been on our heels for 400 plus years. Black people, you next. You know what? Can you imagine being in a relationship with the biggest narcissist in history? The biggest, right? Every time you go to school, he undermines you. When you buy a house, he undermines you. When you get healthcare, he undermines you. God damn, when you can't go to the gym, you can't go to parks, you can't go to the goddamn beach, you can't get healthcare, you can't get childcare, you can't do shit. You can't cook chicken, you can't eat fruit, you can't do nothing. Every angle that you live in life has been targeted. Understand that black people will always fight for Latinos. Our struggle is intertwined. Like, understand this. But we don't gotta worry about being next because we have been their fixation for hundreds of years. We still are. And you know what's the most heartbreaking thing about this whole thing is that Mexican people in black history, American history, have been some of the only people to show up. They were the biggest part of black liberation. And always and forever, I will always give Mexican people that respect. But since then, Latino people have been falling so far into white supremacy that is sick. You have been showing colorist behavior to your own people. You have been showing colorist behavior all in the hopes of having white proximity. All the anti-black jokes that you hear growing up, you're talking about your own people. Just because you say prieto, moreno, or negro, don't make it no different. All those sayings bettering the race, cleaning the blood, washing out the black. This is a part of a Latin culture, and it's sad, and it needs to stop. You want to know what's the first step of liberation? Stop that shit. Stop trying to have proximity to whiteness. You're not them. And if you want to know the results of this, just ask the question of what happened to all the black people in Argentina. There were a lot more. And yeah, you may have a sprinkle of Spaniard, but you ain't that. And I'm sorry to tell you, there's a reason why you have an indigenous or African nose and kinky hair.
What's up?
You know what? I have to remake this video because I need to reiterate. Y'all don't know what the word racism means. Racism and prejudice are not the same thing. And when I say Hispanic people practice racism, this is what I mean. You Hispanic people do not hire black people. And y'all do this on purpose. That is a racist practice. That's what I talk about racism. I live in Los Angeles. Y'all have every job. Y'all have all the jobs. Y'all have jobs everywhere. The bank, the grocery store, customer service. Y'all have jobs everywhere. Insurance. Y'all have the jobs. Because y'all only hire y'all people. I remember being 18 years old. I was in college at CSUN. I wanted to get a job. I went to go get a job in the pavilions in Sherman Oaks. All Hispanic manager. He said, hey, I usually only hire my people. Mind you, this is 2011. Hey, I usually only hire my own people, but I like you, so I'll hire you. They hired another Hispanic girl the same age as me, whatever. I don't think she was in college, but the same age as me. They moved her up to cashier so fast while I was still pushing carts in the bakery. Then I asked him why. He said, oh, because she
you know, she got a baby, she got this, that, and the other, you know, whatever. I didn't really care because I knew that wasn't going to be my life anyway. I knew I was going to become a therapist, and I just didn't even give a fuck. But that's the thing. Another story. What is this? 2017 or something like that? Las Vegas. My brother worked at the bank. All Hispanics, right? They unlawfully fired him. Unlawfully fired him. The only black dude there, right? And my brother is not no fucking YN nigga. My brother is a stand-up guy, and he knows how to go to work. He had to hire a lawyer to fight them, won the law case, got his job back, and then quit on them, and then went to get another job because we petty like that. That is what I mean by racist practices. Come to LA. You know who's in the kitchen? The Hispanics. The Roscoe. You know who's in the Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles? Hispanics. 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 Okay? And then they try to lie and say, oh, it's because Hispanic. They try to say the majority of the population is Hispanic and that's why they have all the jobs, which is not fucking true. Because if it still doesn't, the statistics still don't equal out. Black people do not have no jobs out here. I think the only place black people work is like the airport. And the black people that do work with the Hispanics, you gotta be damn near my color and fucking lighter or biracial. Like, this is not a game. That is what I mean by racist practices, okay? Please read a book and learn how to conceptualize. And even saying that doesn't make any sense because when you are privileged, you have a blind spot. You just can't see it. You can't see it. You cannot see it. So when you Hispanics try to come in my comments and defend yourselves, that's how I know that you are not, you're not smart up here. Y'all want to reconcile without taking accountability, and it doesn't work like that. And don't get in my comments talking about, well, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the collective. Stop trying to personalize a sociological issue. Okay? Relax. Y'all stay talking shit. Y'all know y'all do. Don't come up in here playing that ooh, hoopla shit. I'm a real LA bitch. And let me make this clear. I do not believe in ICE and all that shit. I don't fuck with this government. I don't believe in none of that. I'm an Aquarius. I believe in humanity, whatever the fuck, humanitarian for them all. I believe in all that. But I'm also an Aquarius. And I believe in boundaries. I believe in limitations. I believe in preservation. Okay? I think it's amazing that you guys are fighting for your rights. That's amazing. But there's enough of y'all where y'all don't need us. There's enough of y'all where y'all don't need us. Okay?
Oh, one thing y'all are going to do is argue with me in the comments. And I want to preface this video by saying I am multiracial, right? And sometimes it's important to highlight that for context because although I do believe in and identify with the one drop rule, I am lighter than a manila folder and I have passing and privilege and experiences afforded to me that not everybody has, right? Now that that's out the way, the main comment that I got yesterday on my Cinco de Mayo video was from Black people saying, if that's the case, then why do Mexican people hate us so much, right? And it's because of racism. It's colorism. It is anti-blackness. It's colonization. That's the reason. Racism. And this on a global scale. There's a lot of books by psychologists and historians that analyze the psychological engineering and the systemic dehumanization used to construct global anti-blackness. And the entire non-black world has this unconscious bias that is scientifically baked into human perception. And nobody but Black people seem to notice it, right? Especially if you're Black and you travel, then you've probably felt unwelcome in a lot of places. You've probably felt the prejudices everywhere you go except the motherland. Intentional. And it's insidious. Concept of Blackness is inferior or evil or whatever. It was not by accident. It was by design. Anti-Blackness was created to justify colonization and slavery. Most of us do not realize that the dehumanization of Black people was actually foundational to the establishment of the modern world. This is across place and time, various regions and different eras. A couple of y'all were in the comments talking about you're not black, you're brown. And in a vacuum, yes, that makes sense, right? Anybody that is non-white is on some spectrum of brownness, but we do not exist in a vacuum. And we say black and brown people to highlight distinctions amongst the histories, the challenges, the struggles, the triumphs that are unique to the black experience. And saying only brown people to talk about everybody who was non-white would erase the distinct visibility and historical specificity of the black experience. Besides, race is just a construct. It's not biological. And any classification system that we use to determine race is arbitrary. It's dependent on whatever you want it to be dependent on, where you are or what you are culturally. We're not referring to the actual color black. We're referring to culture, ethnicity, community, not racial categorization, but the black community in America specifically has endured particular systems of oppression. And just saying brown people, referring to all non-white people, would obscure and like dilute that experience. So as there's no hard, fast rules on race, the system is fluid and you can call yourself whatever you want, right? You can identify however you want to identify, and I will respect that. But both perspectives can coexist. Two things can be true at once. And I stand by how important it is, especially when we're talking about history, to distinguish between black and brown people.
Racism, bro, even for us in like Mexicans, there's Mexicans that can't stand black people. They can't stand them. I myself have no problem with color of skin. Like I've kicked it with homeboys that are black, and I remember when I was younger, sometimes I was hungry, we didn't have anything to eat, and I had a friend, can't remember his name, but me and him, like, he was homeless as well. A black kid from Grape Street. It's a gang. It's called Grape Street. We would go into a Walmart and we would just fill up our stuff. And he's like, you're going to be the decoy. You're going to run out and they're going to chase.
The Latino and black communities have always been like this, and we should continue staying like that. There's no reason why the two communities should be fighting. Okay, we have fought next to each other, side by side, since the civil rights movement. Okay, there's no time for beef on either side. We need to stand together, especially with everything that's going on right now.
Since when has the Latino and black community ever been like this? And Latinos were not there during the civil rights movement fighting side by side with black American people. I literally was so confused because I was like, where were Latin people when segregation was happening? Where were they? What schools did they go to? How were they represented? And then I saw Latin people coming out videos saying that they went to white schools. They fought to be categorized and classified as white. So I don't understand why y'all come up here and lie and act like y'all has been an ally for black people. And this is not to say that some has not, but as a collective, that's just not true. A lot of you all have racism and colorism within your own Latin communities. You all have a caste system within your own Latin communities. You all don't treat Afro-Latins the right way. You all discriminate and are prejudiced toward Latinas that look like me in you all's own communities, in you all's own countries. And y'all take that same, those same ideologies, those same prejudices, the same ideas and feelings. And when y'all do migrate over here, y'all bring that with you. A lot of y'all don't treat the Afro-Latins the best. Like, the Dominicans, they say the darker skin, oh, that's a Haitian, me no black. Like, the Puerto Ricans, they don't, you can't, I'm not dark, I'm white. Like, let's stop, y'all, it's the cap. Even some of y'all know it. I took a screenshot of somebody, a Latino, up in your comment section. Let me post it. Look, they say, no, we have not been like this. We've been like this. Then a Latin Jesus says, no, we haven't. We have to fix the anti-blackness first. We have to fix the anti-blackness first. You have obviously not seen how bad our community is towards the black community. Our community became comfortable in this system. She says, I agree with you, but it doesn't mean that we can't at least try. So why would you blatantly get up here and make this lying ass video, girl? You know you lie.
In the Latino community is absolutely horrendous. When I was a sophomore in high school, I was introduced to this Salvadorian girl by one of my friends. The school that I went to for a short period of time, it was predominantly black, Hispanic, and Latino, with Hispanic and Latino being the majority. When I first met her, she had long brown hair, big brown eyes, and red rosy cheeks. I took a liking to her. We're heading into winter break and we decided to get to know each other during that time. We talked pretty much every day. We went on a few dates. It was a great experience. During this time, we were sharing so much about each other's culture. She was telling me all about El Salvador and Salvadoran culture. And I was telling her more about Black culture that she didn't know about. Despite our different races and backgrounds and how heavily divided our school was, we still had a good relationship. After winter break, her and I decided that in the future, we were going to keep our relationship on the down low. Only close friends will know about our relationship. At the time, I did not understand why we even did this in the first place. Why is it such a problem and a nuisance to keep our relationship a secret from everybody else? What's also strange to me is her family allows her to be in a relationship. However, she also wanted to keep that from her parents as well. Like I said, I didn't understand why, but I went along with it anyway. At this time, this was one of the most healthiest relationships I've ever been in because she genuinely cared about me and my well-being, and the connection was astronomical. A few months that felt like days has passed, and then the worst has finally come. Our relationship has spread it all across the school, and in the beginning, people responded with positive feedback. Until the next day, an abundant amount of Hispanic and Latinos in the community was very displeased and unsatisfied with my relationship with her. She kept getting threats of comments of people saying that she should not be dating a Black man. He is Black. You should not be dating her. You should be dating an Hispanic man. You should be dating a Latino man. At the time, she did the best she could to fight for me, her, and our relationship. However, in the end, she was suffering from too much mental and emotional pain. Eventually, some people in the Latino community went out of their way to contact her mother to tell her that she is dating a Black man. As it turns out, despite her wanting to be in a relationship with me, her family was very racist and discriminative towards Black people. Her family was comparing me to Black stereotypes, ghetto, hood rat, a thief, made some other comments like Black people are beneath us, they are third rate, you shouldn't be stooping so low to date someone like that. Apparently, a lot of the people in the Latino community who showed disinterest in our relationship thought and felt the same way, but more on colorism. My skin complexion was a threat and a problem to them because they did not like me dating another Latino woman. There were some other Latino men who was very jealous of the fact that I was dating someone like her. With all due respect, she is very attractive, especially with the school that we went to. Her and I was forced to break up and we discontinued our relationship. But unfortunately, it gets worse. There was these two Latino men who was very angry of the fact that I was dating her to begin with, and they wanted to fight me. At the time, I lacked combat skills and experience, and these two Latino guys who wanted to fight me were boxers. I was put at a major disadvantage, but despite this, I didn't really have a choice because there was honor and pride on the line. Despite me knowing for an absolute fact that I couldn't win against these two massive boxers, I still showed up anyway. And I fought, I got my ass beat, and I lost. Granted, my Salvadorian girlfriend at the time had no idea about any of this until I told her afterwards. After I went home looking like a complete mess and taking a very honorable ass whooping, I might add, my uncle was there and he said to me, "Did you win?" And I said, "No." And then he said, "Did you learn something from this?" Absolutely. At that moment in time, after taking a very honorable ass whooping, I decided to learn how to fight myself. A year later, I took up Taekwondo, Kung Fu, and boxing. I still do it to this day, but this is just one of those stories that, once again, I have faced through a lot of colorism and racism, especially when it comes to my relationships and friendships. And you know what? Despite that relationship ending and getting my ass beat by two intermediate boxers, one thing I can say for sure about myself, at least I wasn't a bitch. But why bring this up now? One, is because it's one of the next stories I wanted to share with you. And two, I have been seeing so many stories from so many Black women, especially brown and dark-skinned women and men, sharing their experiences of racism and colorism from the Latino and Hispanic communities. And my people being constantly shamed and rejected because of our skin tone, because we are the Black people. Being constantly rejected and called ugly and inferior because of our skin tones is absolutely insufferable, and it can cause self-hatred within ourselves. So, to all of my beautiful melanated Black people, especially the Black women, please understand me. You are God's and Mother Nature's greatest accomplishment and greatest creation. You are the Black pearl, the onyx crystal that shines brightly when the sun radiates off of your skin. The way your body touches the sand and the water that slides off of your skin. There is nothing more beautiful than that. From your hair to your eyes and your skin tone to your wisdom and your nurturing. You are the greatest reflection of Mother Nature itself. You are absolutely fruitful, and your potential in love is insurmountable compared to anyone and anything else. Understand me. Do not let anyone destroy your self-love or to strip you away of your blackness. Understand that you are the greatest that has ever lived. You hold values and attributes that even our ancient African goddess themselves has passed on to you. So please understand me when I say this. You are meant to be gods and goddesses. So become one. That's all I have to say on the matter. It's Onyx, and I'll see you next time.
Hello guys, welcome back. So I want to hear thoughts in the comment section, how you really view this video. How can you really explain, or how can you really view this video? Because the Latinos, they have been always disrespecting the black community for so many years. The America that really the black community fought for it has been always disrespected by this minority. And one thing this other minority always forgetting, that the freedom that is now enjoying in America, the freedom of this now disrespecting the black Americans, they were just 1400 years ago by the black community. But these groups, they have been always siding with the white people. But one thing I know, that these people always forcing themselves to be whites, but whites, they don't really love these people. But it has now reaches a time that they are now coming out and realize that the black folks always right, and the only person. That's how this community, they have been always disrespect. I told you that the freedom that these people always enjoying, it was really fought by the black Americans. And also this freedom of the disrespecting the black people also fought by this community. So, but it has reached a time that these people always forcing themselves to be white. And that's why a white man really, he came out and said that Latinos, you cannot really force to be whites, because whites, they don't trust anybody in America. They only this something like these people always forget that these white people, they don't have friends in those minorities. They love themselves. They have been wished to be always the racist to other communities. But the only community that's always helping the other communities is the black people. Black people that have been always fighting, helping the other communities. But these other communities, they don't see that. And that's why a video like this always open up. I know that it's really creating a lot of the discussion among the Latinos. And Latinos, these people, they have been always very disrespecting the black people. I've seen a lot of clips like the Ashley Konza, that's ex-cop, really, she came out and said that the way she hate the black community. Also, we have seen so many things from these Latinos and other those Asians and Cubans, and wherever they really face the instant karima, or wherever they face the repercussion, they always want a unity with the black people, because wherever these people always do something which is not good, as what is now what is now happening in America, the boycott of the Asian business. They always want unity with the black people. But black people, they have really done to be, they don't even trust these people, because they have been always trusting them, helping them to do protests, helping in many occasions. Black people, they have been always making sure that they really protect these minorities. But these minorities, they don't really love the black American. They love black American during, if they demand help from them. But when they really get this help, they don't want to care about how the black people always operating. And that's why I normally say that black people, this is now the genuine Israel, this is the real Israel, because they have been always live the hard life. Imagine fighting for this America, the freedom that is the country is really enjoying. This is the tears of the black people during transatlantic trade, during those, and that's why always we do the repercussion, we do the reparation. But These other communities, these are the immigrants, they just came later. But always they want to be like black Americans. They want to be forcing things to be the black American and seeing themselves to be like white people. But white people, they don't love any minority in America. They don't love, because on just deep in history, how these nations has been organized, the system that were just built is always benefiting them, not American voting act, nothing. And when we just also come in political way, these minorities, they have been always, these Latinos, other communities apart from the black American, they have been always siding with the West people, that is Maka people. But when the consequences of the electing this like down, what is happening in when the deportation crackdown, the first people to be really affected is this down, the Asian, Cuban, Latinos. These people always being affected by this crackdown. The policies, they have been always fighting for it. That is the repercussion. That is the seed that have been planted by these people. But they don't want to learn lesson from that. They always repeating this mistake each and every time. Thank you so much for watching me. I want to hear from you guys. Don't really, I want just to hear from you about these Latinos and other communities. I'm your host, Team Tessie, commenter, and kindly, if you haven't subscribed, you are missing a lot. Make sure you just subscribe, like the video, and also comment. Bye for now. See you in the next one.